All right, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh.
Hawa, Ba'ashem
And
Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash.
I'm going to give the balance to our apostles, our elders of Great Millstone, rule well. Blessing and salutation to you, brethren, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. I did two brothers from the GMS Trinidad, Brother Howard and Brother Quad, as you could see. We're here to break bread. We're here to do a edifying video, hopefully edifying, to the audience. And the video is based off of Ephesians, the second chapter, and the starting from the 11th verse. Basically speaking about the strangers or the heathens, Israelite, more or less the Gentiles, the heathens, right? Because the heathen is represented as a Gentile, right? Because these are Israelites who don't know that they're Israelites, right? Who pick up the customs of the other nations, right? And the reason why we pick up the customs of the other nations is because we were under the other nations' captivity, and it also was a curse unto us, right? The Lord
And if,
say He will discontinue some of our captivity. So that
if I may say, just for people who don't know about it, there's two types of Gentiles, all right? The Israelite foreigners and the heathen nations. But this scripture in Ephesians 2 and 11, that wasn't talking about the heathen nations, that was talking about Israelites, all right?
can. So without further ado, we go into it. If you want to read, you want to read.
Right now, I will end the next precept.
I read the book Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye um yeah, wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands." So I did scripture say, wherefore being in time past Gentiles, as the brother say, I don't know if you want to reiterate it, break down type of Gentiles.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier on, there are two type of Gentiles, all right? The Israelite foreigners, them that don't know that there's Israel, all right, but they are Israel by seed, all right? And then there are the heathen nations, all right, who is not Israel by seed, all right, but they do all kind of heathenistic things, all right. So there's the other nations who are not Israel, they are heathens, all right, and Israel who don't know that they are Israel, that follow after the other nations.
In other words, it have original Gentile and it have a fake Gentile. Right?
Yeah.
Basically, the counterfeit Gentile is Israel, right? Because originally they are Israelites, but they are walking in the footsteps of a Gentile or a heathen,
Yeah.
right? Um, which I think the word Gentile goes back to ethnos, if I ethnos, right? Which is I think the ethnos is the Israelite foreigner, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the ethnikos is the original for the heathens, right? So it says Gentiles in the flesh. So we walk as Gentiles in the flesh, right? We walk as heathens, being we as let's say Esau. We walk as Moab, right? Basically, following after their customs. We walk as the Greeks. We walk as the Romans, following after their customs, right? In the flesh, right?
Have a picture?
Let's now hold on. Um, It says in the flesh, who is called uncircumcised, right? Here we say who are called uncircumcised because the Gentile are called uncircumcised, right? Uncircumcised. What scripture that was? I think it was in Judges when they call them uncircumcised um
Uncircumcised Philistine.
Philistine, yeah, yeah, right?
Right.
Um, right? It's only the nation of Israel who used to circumcise. That was is a covenant between with the Lord gave to our forefather Abraham, right?
And
Um, and something else I was going to add to that, you know. All right. Anyway, we'll continue. It says, being on who are called uncircumcised, circumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. The circumcision made by flesh in the hand was about the physical circumcision, right? As I now mentioned, the being the seed of Abraham. I believe that's in Genesis 14. It's not Genesis 14, Genesis 12. When let me see if I can read it real quick. That's verification purposes. If it's not 14, it's 17. Um, I think it's let's give me a second real quick, right?
in the meantime, while they're waiting, I could bring this precept I was holding here.
I get shit. Yeah,
All
please
right. So
right?
this is First Corinthians 12 and verse 2. It says, "Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led." All right. So that's showing that the children of Israel became Gentiles by following these other nations. All right. By picking up their customs and doing their practices, because we know that the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. You know, that is our
Mm,
heritage. Our heritage goes back to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. So following after these other nations, you're going to be like a Gentile, basically.
yeah, you're gonna be like them. Right, that's for education purposes. They see Genesis 17 and start from one. It says and when Abram was 90 years old, and nine Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power, walk before me, and be thou perfect, and I will make a covenant between me and thee, and and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and power talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is between thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Right? Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Right? So Abraham was a father of many nations, as the song is go. Right? Many nations came out of Abraham, but one chosen lineage came from him. Right? It says, and I will establish my covenant verse 7, I will establish my covenant between thee and me and thy seed after thee in their generation for an everlasting covenant, to be a God or to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give thee, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, and an everlasting possession, and I will be their God, their power. And power said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant thou shalt keep my covenant before, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generation. This is my covenant between ye, shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of the foreskin, and it shall be, right, this is the covenant here, it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generation. He that is born in the house or brought with money, or any stranger which is not of thy seed, he shall be born in thy house, and he shall be brought with thy money. And he that is brought with thy money, sorry, have you seen properly? Alright, um, must need be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Right? And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of the foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off. Well, I will stop right here. Right? So we understand the um the circumcision, right? What the scripture was speaking about it. So there's a covenant we God made with Abraham, right? So back to Ephesians chapter 2 and verse um 11, right? Verse 12, it says that at that time ye were without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenant of promise, having no hope and um without power in the world, or without Yahweh Shai in the world. Right? So no, it says that at that time you were all without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth. So now you could bring the is Lamentations 5 and 2.
This is Lamentation
You can
5 verse
start from
2.
1.
Huh?
You can start from 1. That's the
Verse
thing.
1 says, Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Right? Our our inheritance is turned to strangers. Because first they say, consider, remember what has come upon us. That goes back to slavery, Israel being taken down by all these different captivities. All right?
Mm.
Not being able to dwell in our own land anymore. All right? So it says our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens.
Right? Our houses to aliens. Aliens. Where's that alien? Right? An alien is a foreigner. Right? When they call it an alien, they'll call it a foreigner. Right? So when you see an alien, it means that we have become foreigners. Right? We have become foreigners. Israelite foreigners, Gentiles. Right? So that is we speaking about it. Right? That is what I'm Jeremiah speaking about. And that is what the Apostle Paul was speaking about in the book of Ephesians, being aliens. So let me look it up, right? And I could bring out the definition of the word commonwealth, because you see, we was aliens from the commonwealth. You see? Look at the word alien. It says Apollo Apollo trio. It says to alienate, estrange, to be shut out from one's fellowship and intimacy. And that is exactly what went on, right? We were shut out, right? Right? We were shut out from we say shut out from one's fellowship, right? So it come like being profane, right? Outside of the temple, right? So that's what we were. Because we was what? We was aliens, we were foreigners, right? We were Gentiles from the what, Commonwealth. With the Commonwealth mean that?
That's no. Yeah,
Hmm? You did? You did?
yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, freeze. Yeah, you can go ahead. Wait, you want me to bring it? I'll bring it.
All right, go
Alright,
ahead. Bring it.
yeah, give me a minute. Yeah, what to do? You bring it in the my sword and I go bring it in the on the online etymology, right?
All right.
I have it in the online etymology. It says Commonwealth, mid 15 Commonwealth, a community, whole body of people in a state, from Commonwealth, specifically state in which a republic or democrat, blah blah blah, right? From 1550 as anybody of person united by some common interest, right? So that is basically being a stranger from your nationality, in other words, then, right? Because it says being aliens from the Commonwealth from the inheritance, right? It says well, it says yeah, pack of shit here, boy. Right, it says belonging to all owned and used jointly general public nature, character, common generally free. Yeah, boy. Anyway, yeah, Quada, go ahead, bring it.
All right, I will bring it now. This is Strong's Light G4174.
Yeah, Quada. Alright, so it's a Commonwealth here. Let the brother get cut off. Commonwealth. It says administration of civil affairs, state of Commonwealth, citizens, the rights of a citizen, right? The rights of a citizen. Strong's polity, citizenship, right? Creatively, a community. right? Being a foreigner or alien from your nationality then, right? Because why you represent yourself as a heathen, right? You follow the customs of the heathen, right? You could your screen could split, you know. And then if you know how to split your screen, like a edge, I will show you, don't have your chance. But anyway, go moving on, right? So Commonwealth basically means he was like a foreigner to your nationality, right? Because it says it says citizen, the rights of a citizen, being the rights of a citizen. Right? When you go into it a little more, it says a citizen, inhabitants of any city or country, right? So Ephesians chapter 2 and verses 13 says, but now in Mashiach Yahushua ye who sometimes were far off, right? Understand what he's saying? You were far off. How you were far off? Give me, give me Jeremiah 17 and 4.
This is the book of Jeremiah 17, verse 4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the
Mm-hmm.
land which thou knowest not.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, go ahead.
for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, like how we was far off. Right? The Lord made us far off because of our disobedience. So he made us serve other gods. He made us um God of wood and stone. He made us as the scripture say, discontinue from our heritage. Right? We look at ourselves as we some heathen nation. We don't know who we is. Or at least we didn't know who we were. But now we wake back up to the truth. So the ones who saying that there's Christians and there's not Hebrew Israelites, they are considered what? They are considered aliens, they are considered Gentiles, right? They are considered these things. They are
Yeah.
considered uncircumcised, right? Because circumcision in the flesh it don't really profit, but circumcision in your mind, knowing who you are, who he is, that is the most important part, right? Knowing that you are Israelite, knowing that you are seed of Abraham. I mean, that is the important part. I'm gonna bring the scripture here. I mean, if you can hold the First Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter 1, just to show how Israel were Gentiles, or we follow after the Gentile custom when we were under captivity are the Greeks. You know,
With Maccabees, what?
the first Maccabees, the first chapter. Um, the first just now. When they speak about we follow after the heathens and stuff now. I'll see if I read this now. The book of Jeremiah chapter 12. Jeremiah 12 and 7. Right? It says Jeremiah 12 and verse 7 says, I have forsaken my house. I have I have left my heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hands of enemies. My heritage is as unto us unto I'm gonna read that over select. Verse 6 it says, for even my brethren and the house of thy fathers of thy father, even they have dealt treacherously with thee. Yea, they are called a multitude after thee, believe them not. Though they speak fair words unto thee, I have forsaken my house. Right? He houses what the nation of Israel. I have forsaken my house. I have left mine heritage. Right? I have given my dearly beloved, who the Lord dearly beloved, of my
Yes, sir.
soul unto the hand of the enemies, which is the other nations. Right? The scripture talk about we go into the land serving our enemies and serving other gods of wood and stone. Right?
Even if I may say, even not because at that time we didn't have the understanding of the scriptures. We basically didn't know who we God was before um Abba Bivens came back on the scene and bring back that word unto Israel. All right. So I just
Good.
wanted to interject this scripture here, which is
Mhm.
Proverbs 21 and verse 16. It says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." All right. And at that time, Israel wandered out of the way of understanding that had no understanding of the laws of who Yahweh was, is. You understand? So we were in that dead state, you know? We were in that dead state. But
Kind. It's first Maccabees 1 and where that whole script chapter I gotta jump around. You start from could start from verse 7. Could start from verse 7.
this is first Maccabees 1 and verse 7. It says, "So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, and did their sons after them many years."
I'm speaking about generals, Alexander generals. Some of the main four generals is Ptolemy, Lasamachus, Cassandra, and Antiochus. Is Ptolemy, Cassandra, Lasamachus, and fuck boy.
It's not Vespasian.
No,
Uh,
Ptolemy, Lasamachus, Cassandra, um, I remember that's not where.
right. So it say here, and evils were multiplied upon the earth, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137 year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that
Yeah.
are round about us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow."
And this is under the Greek Empire. Prior to this Greek Empire, we were under the Medes. We were under the Medes and the Persian, right? Before the Medes and the Persian, we were under the the not Mount. The no, um, the Babylonian, right? The Babylonians, right? The Babylonian, the Greeks, the Medes, right? The Babylonians. Get it?
something. What Bishop?
Mm-hmm.
There's Isaiah 28, I'll read from verse 14. It says, wherefore hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death and hell, we have, and with hell we are in agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. All right, and basically back in the time of Maccabees, that is what these wicked men in Israel did. You understand? They made a covenant with the enemy. All right,
Mm.
and we know that if it's one thing, the scripture, even in Sirach, it says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Because if you
Mm.
read on down in Maccabees here, you will see where the enemy turned against Israel and put a number of them to death. You know?
Okay. Good. Um, you could jump to right.
I
No,
bet it.
you have it.
Yeah. All right, so I read in verse 12, it says, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Of the heathens, of the Gentiles. Right? That's the next word for heathen. You know? Right.
And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to mischief.
I just go and look for something new. Go ahead.
All right. So I go jump up to 29. It says, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent the chief counselor, collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the woman and children he took captive and possessed their cattle. Then built they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Yeah, so basically it's saying here that you know the chief collector he actually deceived the Israelites. You know, he speak peaceable words unto them, and then you know he destroyed them, he smote them, he pulled down the houses and actually moved wicked men of their nation into Israel to do all manner of abominables. You understand? And then you had the citizens of Israel who were there in the city, all right, actually joined in that wicked covenant with them to actually do wickedly against their God. All right. And if I may say, it have a scripture somewhere in, I think it's either Exodus or Deuteronomy, where it say the way how these people treat their gods or the wicked things that they do, you ought not to do these things unto Yahweh.
Hmm.
You understand?
Right. Um, so you could is it?
Yeah.
All right, we stop up to
I basically stop up to
read 41 and 42
all right.
up to 45.
I go read 36 going down. It says, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an inhabitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like the wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. Verse 48 says, as had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Come. Gonna break down. I was looking for something.
All right. So yeah. So it say that the king Antiochus at that time he wrote to the whole kingdom that everybody should be one people and basically to serve him. All right. And if you're being one people is obviously you had to follow the customs of your ruler. All right. And their customs was not the customs of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. That is why the Israelites that were there, most of them fled from the city. You understand?
Hmm.
Yeah, most of them fled from the city because why? They didn't want to partake in the customs of the other nations. But who stayed there? They had was to basically they had was to basically obey their enemy. All right. Well,
Um, hold on there. I mean, let's get something here really quick. Um, let's hope the video defined.
let me just read 43 while they're looking for that. It says yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbaths. All right, because these these Greeks they captured Jerusalem at that time, and who was there? If they didn't consent to their laws, they would have put them to death. All right, and as I said earlier on, that is why the rest of Jerusalem fled the city. All right. So it says, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. All right, as I was saying, the laws that there was now following here was not the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that is why it was considered strange laws. All right,
Verse 3.
verse 45. It says, and forbid burning offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people,
Hmm.
set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and
Right.
sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts.
And like that's a shit that with the heathens used to follow. Yeah, we see sacrifice swine's flesh. Right? Why they say swine flesh? Like that's a shit that meat unclean to eat. You understand? Swine
Mhm.
flesh. You know that scripture can put in the archives to back up.
Have a,
We
have a
supposed
little
to
more.
eat. You can hold up there, you know.
Now that's let me read these two
Okay.
verses, Baba Pasha.
Okay, yeah.
Verse 48, it says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Hmm.
All right. So you see, the customs that tutors of Israel even following today, all right, goes back to these other nations. All right, because tutors of Israel they do circumcise the children and all these kind of thing. All right, there's only the 1/3 that will, in the land of joy and waters, they will rehearse the righteous acts. All right. So it says, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the
Profane.
end, to the
Yeah.
end that they, huh?
Yeah. So
to
that
the to the end that they might forget the laws and change all the ordinances. And whoso would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
okay.
So that is what I was saying. Them that was left in Jerusalem, all right, that was to go under servitude of that wicked nation, all right, is either the do or the die.
Okay. And that has always be the option Esau does give it. You know? Either
Okay.
that or that. This is Jeremiah 16 and 14. Um, verse 13, it says, therefore I will cast you out of this land unto a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve gods day and night, other gods day and night, and they, where I will not show you favor, you know. Right. So like, worried over that. It says, therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not. Right? That is the utmost part of the world, all these sides here. Right? The land we knew was what? Israel. Right? The land what we don't know. Although we born and raised here, the land what we don't know is here. Right? Because here is where our foreparents dwell. Right? Um Neither ye nor your fathers, you see, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, right? We serving other gods day and night. Um, Jesus, Allah, right? Who's serving these what you call it, Oshun, you know. all different types of roads. Some Jakes is um
Baptist,
Hindus, Baptists, it's different diverse gods, right?
and
That's what Israel did. That's what Israel doing. You could bring from Jeremiah 28, Jeremiah 28 and 28, 23 and 28.
and this is the book of Jeremiah 23.
That's the one. Jeremiah 22 and that's what, Jeremiah 22.
And I will precept here as you're looking for that.
All right, go ahead. So that's
There is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32. It
48.
says, huh?
Okay, we 48 too.
I will jump to 48 after.
Yeah.
It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes shall look and feel with longing for them all the day long. For there shall be no might in thy hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall another nation which thou knowest not eat up,
Hmm.
and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. All right. And all these situations that Israel went through is what made some of them turn to the customs of the other nation. All right. And then it had a script, yeah. I think it's somewhere in either in the book of Judges or in the book of Joshua, where it say that the righteous seed that was keeping the laws, they end up dying off. And it say that the younger ones that grew up, they didn't know nothing about the laws and they didn't know nothing about Yahweh. So evils was multiplied in Israel. All right. And if you watch today, all right, if it wasn't for this blessed word coming back onto Israel, all right, we would not know nothing about Yahweh. We would not know nothing about the laws. We would not even know that we're Israelites. You
Correct.
understand? So it shows here that that is what the enemy does do. He does basically take away all your what is it what I'm looking for? All your
Hmm.
customs and give you customs that they does follow. All right, tell you
Yeah.
that your God is Jesus, you know, and before you
Because
know it, where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob used to follow, you don't follow it anymore. You understand? That is how the enemy does break down a nation by stripping them of their customs and give them false customs to follow. That is what they did to Israel.
and you ready 48?
Right, jumping up to 48, it says, I read 47. Because thou servedest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And
Okay.
he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Hmm. That is it. Like this, we loaded through the hands of Esau. Esau destroy us. The Lord didn't ultimately, it's the Lord do it, but he do it by the hands of Esau, the enemy, the wicked. So basically dies with the scripture I was speaking about in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 11. It speaks about the Israelite foreigners. And the heathens represents the Israelites, right? In that particular verse. And a lot of verse scriptures also speak about um like Gentiles, whatever the case might be. Not to be mistaken. It's context too, you gotta read the scripture in certain context, and then you will understand what they were speaking about, what the Apostle Paul was speaking about. He was speaking about Israel, he was speaking about the heathens originally. So we hope this video was edifying. We want to give all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Akakodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who well. Blessed and citation to the virgin pushing sweat and sincerity and to shalom to the elect. We hope for the elect.